there. Welcome to the latest episode of the Sexy Thyroid Solution. This is Angela Brown. So today I want to talk about thyroid blood tests and how to interpret them and what they all mean. But first, if you could do me a huge favor, if you are new to my channel, I would love if you would go ahead and hit the subscribe button and then hit the little bell right next to that so you'll get a notification every single Thursday when my YouTube videos are released. If you are watching this on Facebook or Instagram, do me a huge favor as well and go ahead and hit that like button and share this, tag people, let anyone know who might benefit from this information, okay? So let's go ahead and dive into this. So this is a topic that I get asked pretty often about because I have a lot of women come to me who are like, I got my blood test results back, but I have no idea what they mean, or I got my blood test results back and my doctor says everything looks fantastic. Or they may even be like, I can't get my doctor to run my thyroid blood panel. So what do I do? So this is why I want to go over this, what they all mean and why it's important to do a full thyroid panel. So TSH is the first thing that I have assessed. Now, this is the thing that almost every doctor, if you suspect you have thyroid or if they suspect you have thyroid issues, they're going to get your TSH checked. Here's the problem with that. TSH is not the only thing that needs to be checked, but most doctors, that's what they're going to do. They're going to go right to TSH and they don't look at anything else, which I'm going to go over why it's important to do more than just TSH. TSH is thyroid stimulating hormone. So this is what is released when your thyroid is sluggish, not producing enough thyroid hormone. It's going to create more thyroid stimulating hormone. That's why it's called stimulating. So when it's really, really high, it means your thyroid's not making enough thyroid hormone. So your thyroid's starting to release more of this thyroid stimulating hormone to make more. When it's really, really low, it means that you're actually good. Okay. Now you don't want it to go too low because that can create some hyper symptoms. But here's my problem with TSH is most labs will say, here's your reference range. This is where you should be and you're good to go. And I do not agree with the lab reference ranges. I haven't found a single person, including myself, that feels good with TSH for the lab reference range. I personally think that the better you are between a 1 and a 2 for TSH, the better you're going to feel. I personally myself, if I go above 1, I feel absolutely horrible and I can't function. I have to have mine between a 0.8 to a 0.9, maybe to a 1, but that's about it. When it goes above 1, I am lousy. I am worthless. I can't get anything done. All my symptoms come back. So I generally see most women feel better when that TSH number is between a 1 and a 2. I just don't feel like those lab reference ranges where they're saying, oh, a 3 to a 4 looks great for TSH. I don't agree with that at all. And I haven't had a single client that has come to me that they felt amazing at that as well. So what else do I look at? I look at free T3 and free T4. So free T4 is your inactive thyroid hormone and T3 is your active thyroid hormone. And what you need to do is you need to have a conversion from T4 over to T3. Now your thyroid makes both, but it's going to make majority of T4 and then it has to convert so much over to T3. Here's the problem with that. Because there has to be a conversion, there can be a disconnect there where this doesn't happen. So if you're only looking at TSH and you're not getting your T4 or your T3 looked at, you're never going to know if you have that disconnect and you don't have a good conversion of T4 to T3. Again, most doctors don't look at that. So here's my other problem with that. They throw you on medication when your TSH number is super elevated, you're diagnosed with hypothyroidism, and then you get thrown on medication. If they've never looked at your T4 and T3, how the hell do they know what medication to put you on? Do they know what your T3 or T4 is? If they don't, then they're just throwing you on a medication without knowing if you need more T3, if you need more T4, if you need a combination of both. So just throwing on a medication without having looked at your T4 and T3, to me, does not help anybody. You have to look at those numbers because, again, if you're just blindly putting someone on T4 or T3, or you're just putting on the common one, which is like Thyroid, which is just T4, what if you don't have enough T3? What if you don't convert T4 to T3? You're not going to know that by just looking at TSH, okay? So very important. You have to demand that. That is my absolute must. You have to demand that you get a full thyroid panel. If you suspect you have thyroid stuff, TSH is never, ever going to be enough. So my question for you is, have you ever had a full thyroid panel? Have you ever done a full thyroid panel where you've gotten all these things that we're discussing? And have you had issues with getting those results as well? because sometimes doctors won't order them. But I would love to know if you've had a full thyroid panel. So what else do I look at? I also want to look at reverse T3. So what happens is T4, again, we talked a little bit about, T4 has to convert over to T3. There's a pretty big conversion that has to happen, and T3 is your active thyroid. So if you're not getting this conversion over, that could be the problem with your thyroid, is you're getting all these thyroid symptoms because you're not getting enough conversion over. What can happen, unfortunately, is sometimes instead of converting over to T4, you revert backwards, and that's why they call it reverse T3. You revert it backwards, reverse T3 is inactive. It doesn't do anything. So if you don't have that checked, that's another reason why your TSH could look totally normal. Your T4 could maybe even look normal, but they never look at your T3 and your reverse T3. How are you going to know if you're actually converting enough over? How are you going to know if you're not reverting it backwards? If you're reverting it backwards and your reverse T3 is extremely elevated, there's other things we have to dig into. Could be an autoimmune issue. It could be something that you're eating. It could be that your liver's bogged down because the conversion happens in the liver from T4 to T3. There could be a lot of things going on why you're ending up with this high reverse T3. So I want to see what that number is doing as well. And then lastly, you need to see what your thyroid antibodies are doing. So it's unfortunately very, very common when you have a slow thyroid to have something called Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Basically just means that your body's attacking your own thyroid. It's an autoimmune response, and the majority of people with a slow thyroid actually have this, where they get these really high elevation of thyroid antibodies, and that basically means that your body thinks that your thyroid is an invader, and so your immune system actually attacks it to try to get rid of it, essentially. So your thyroid antibodies can go extremely high. Why do you need to know this? Because you definitely need to know, is your thyroid issue that you have because it's an autoimmune response, which is not the same treatment plan, then is it just because you don't have enough thyroid hormone? Totally different treatment plan. If you're having an autoimmune response to your body against your thyroid, you have to know. So that's why I need to know what those thyroid antibodies are doing, because I can rule that out then and say, okay, we know it's not an autoimmune response. Now let's focus on the other things that could be causing your thyroid issues. If it is an autoimmune response, the treatment plan is completely different then. So what do you need checked? You need your TSH checked. You're going to need free T3, free T4, reverse T3, and your thyroid antibodies. Now, your thyroid antibodies, it depends on which ones they're looking at, and the lab reference range is, I usually just say it either needs to be negative, or sometimes it's like a range of 9 or above or 1 or above. It just needs to be below that lab reference range or negative. That's when you know you don't have the thyroid antibodies that are attacking your thyroid. Okay? So if you have any questions, definitely reach out. If you want some more information on the thyroid blood labs, let me know on that, because if you cannot get your doctor to order them, I use a company called Let's Get Checked, and I have a discount code for that as well. I will have the link below to where you can go straight to that. They will send you a kit to your house. It's a finger prick test. You can do it at home. It's really nice and easy, and send it off. You don't even have to go to the lab. But I do have a discount code for that. So let me know if you need that. It's a great way to get this done without having to go to the doctor if you have issues getting that done. And then if you could definitely do me a huge favor as well, and like my page, like this, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button so you get a notification every single Thursday when my channel, when my YouTube video is released. And then again, if you're watching this on Facebook or Instagram, like this, share this, tag someone, let them know, because I know there's so many women that suffer with this and they cannot get the answers that they need. This is a great way to start. So hope this information helps you. I will also, if you're watching this on YouTube, I will also have a link below to another thing that I did on if you suspect you have a hypothyroidism, you don't have to have that diagnosis to have a slow thyroid. So let me know if you have any more questions again, and we will be chatting soon. Bye.